The last message my son ever sent me arrived at exactly 2:13 in the morning. Mom, I'm sorry. Please check your account when you wake up. And whatever happens next, don't trust Vanessa. I still remember staring at my phone in the dark, confused and irritated. Daniel had become distant after marrying Vanessa. We barely spoke more than once a month. Every conversation felt rushed, guarded, almost monitored. But something about that message made my stomach tighten. I opened my banking app with shaking hands, and suddenly, I couldn't breathe. $50 million transferred directly into my account. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe his assistant sent it accidentally. Maybe someone hacked him. My mind searched for logic while my heart filled with fear. I called him immediately. No answer. Again, nothing. Then my phone rang from an unknown number. Mrs. Carter. A soft male voice asked, "Yes, this is St. Vincent Medical Center. Your son was brought in after a car accident earlier tonight. My knees nearly gave out, and I'm very sorry. He didn't survive." The silence after those words destroyed me. I don't remember dropping the phone. I don't remember falling onto the kitchen floor. I only remember the pain. The kind that tears through a mother so deeply, she feels hollow inside. Daniel was my only child. I raised him alone after his father abandoned us when Daniel was 6 years old. I worked 2 jobs for years. Waitress during the day, cleaning offices at night. I skipped meals so he could have school books and decent clothes. And somehow, we survived. Daniel grew into the kindest little boy. Brilliant too. He built a technology company before turning 35. Soon he was richer than anyone in our family had ever imagined. Luxury homes, business magazines, television interviews. But success changed the people around him, especially Vanessa. The first time I met her, she hugged me with cold arms and a fake smile. "Daniel talks about you all the time," she said, but her eyes said something different. Over the years, she slowly pushed me away from my son. Family dinners stopped. Holiday invitations disappeared. Whenever Daniel called me, Vanessa's voice always seemed to appear in the background. And yet, I stayed quiet, because mothers learn to swallow pain when it protects their children. But what I didn't know that day was that Daniel had been hiding something terrifying behind his perfect marriage, and his final gift to me wasn't about money, it was a warning. Exactly 24 hours after Daniel died, Vanessa arrived at my house, wearing designer black sunglasses and pretending to cry. But the moment she sat in my living room, her mask began to slip, and that was when my nightmare truly began. Vanessa removed her sunglasses slowly and looked around my tiny house. With disgust, she tried very hard to hide. "I know Daniel transferred money to you," she said coldly. Not, "How are you holding up?" Not, "I'm grieving too." Just money. I stared at her in disbelief. "My son died yesterday, and I'm his wife," she snapped. "That money belongs to me." The room suddenly felt smaller. For a moment, I couldn't even recognize the woman sitting in front of me. There were no tears in her eyes, no heartbreak in her voice, only anger and desperation. I whispered, "Why would Daniel send me everything?" Vanessa crossed her arms tightly. He wasn't thinking clearly, but something about the way she answered felt rehearsed. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat alone in Daniel's childhood bedroom, staring at old photographs, birthday parties, school graduations, tiny drawings he used to make for me. And then I remembered something. Years ago, Daniel had secretly shared the password to a private email account in case anything ever happened. At the time, I laughed it off, but now my hands trembled. As I logged in, there were hundreds of unread messages, documents, photos, voice recordings, and slowly, the truth began destroying everything I thought I knew. Vanessa had been stealing from Daniel for years. Not just money, trust, peace. His entire life. I discovered hidden payments to offshore accounts, secret conversations with another man, messages mocking Daniel behind his back, while pretending to be the perfect wife in public. But the worst part, Daniel knew, in one voice message, his exhausted voice broke my heart. Mom, I stayed because I thought I could fix things. But Vanessa only loves what I can give her. I covered my mouth and cried silently. Another recording shattered me even more. I don't think I'm safe anymore. Those words haunted me. Daniel explained how Vanessa pressured him constantly about changing his will. She wanted complete control over everything. His company shares, properties, investments. And when he refused, their marriage became a war, hidden behind expensive smiles. Suddenly, his final text made sense. Don't trust Vanessa. The next morning, Vanessa returned to my house with lawyers. She acted calm this time, polished, confident. Daniel was emotionally unstable before his accident. One lawyer explained, "We believe the transfer should legally be reversed." I looked directly at Vanessa. You knew he was unhappy. Her expression hardened. Instantly. You have no idea what you're talking about. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid, because pain changes people, especially mothers who have already lost everything, quietly. I slid a folder across the table. Inside were printed screenshots from Daniel's secret emails, bank transfers, private messages, evidence. Vanessa's face lost all color, and in that moment, I finally saw fear in her eyes. The room fell completely silent. Vanessa stared at the papers, like her entire world was collapsing in front of her. "This isn't real," she whispered, but her trembling hands exposed the truth. One of the lawyers slowly removed his glasses and looked at her carefully. "Mrs. Carter," he said cautiously, "is there anything you'd like to explain?" Vanessa suddenly stood up. "He was paranoid," she shouted. Daniel imagined things, but deep down, she knew it was over, because truth has a strange way of surviving, even after death. Over the next few weeks, more secrets surfaced. Daniel's financial team launched an internal investigation after anonymous evidence was submitted. Hidden accounts connected to Vanessa were discovered. Large amounts of money had quietly disappeared over the years. Friends who once defended her suddenly disappeared. Business magazines that used to praise their perfect marriage began publishing stories about financial deception and manipulation. And Vanessa, she became exactly what she feared most: alone. The legal battle ended faster than anyone expected. Daniel's final transfer remained untouched because investigators proved he made it, willingly and mentally sound. But the greatest shock came from Daniel's final video message. His lawyer delivered it privately to me weeks later. I remember sitting alone in my kitchen, terrified to press play. Then Daniel appeared on the screen, tired, heartbroken, but peaceful. "Mom," he said softly, "if you're watching this, I'm probably gone." I immediately burst into tears. "I know this money will shock you, but you earned every dollar long before I ever made it." I could barely breathe. "You sacrificed your entire life for me, and I was too blind to see how much pain I caused by letting people push you away." He paused for a moment. "I trusted the wrong person for too long, but I never stopped trusting you." Those words healed something broken inside me. For months after Daniel's death, I lived in silence. Grief became part of my morning routine. Some days, I still reached for my phone, wanting to call him before remembering he was gone. But slowly, I began rebuilding my life. I donated part of the money to shelters for single mothers. I funded scholarships in Daniel's name for young students struggling the way we once struggled. And for the first time in years, I felt close to my son again. Not through money, not through loss, but through purpose. People often ask me if I hate Vanessa. The truth is, I don't, because hatred destroys the person carrying it, and life already gave her the punishment she feared most, losing the image she spent years protecting. But Daniel gave me something far more valuable than revenge before he died. He gave me the truth. And sometimes, truth is the only justice we ever truly need.